This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
And welcome to the program. Glad to have you with us this week as we take a look back at 2015 and a look ahead to 2016. First up on the plate, we will talk business. Here are a number of top storylines in the business arena during the past year. Number one, we had low pump prices. Those motorists were paying a lot less at the pumps this past year. Low natural gas prices, which has a variety of ramifications that we'll talk about. Home sales were strong again, another year of good home sales in Arkansas. Falling unemployment and good job growth across the board. And there was a lot of momentum in the small business and startup community. So joining me to talk business about 2015 and to 2016, our Talk Business and Politics chief guys here, Wes Brown and Michael Tilley. Great to have you both with us.
Thanks for having us.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, man.
All right, it is a happy one. So, Wes, I'm going to let you go first.
Okay.
Because I love letting you go first. Of our top business stories of the year, what's your favorite top business story?
Well, it has to be gas prices, and I'm not talking about the gas prices you go when you go to the pump. I'm talking about natural gas prices. Just like pump prices, they're under $2 per BTU, which is the British measurement. But the problem that causes is that it has caused a collapse in the Fayetteville Shale. And what we've seen, and if you look at the Fayetteville Shale of the last decade, it has pumped about $3 billion annually into the Arkansas economy. That's the equivalent of 3 super projects per year. So I think, and now that natural gas prices are down, it's not economical for them to drill for natural gas in the shale. There's only one operating rig in Arkansas right now, when at the peak we had over 50 rigs operating. Now we have none. So that means there's no drilling. That means that the drilling crews that were operating those rigs have gone to Texas or South Dakota or Colorado, where they're drilling for crude oil. But at this price, it's going to be maybe a long time before it comes back to Arkansas.
And Michael, that translates to some shedding of employment ranks, and it also a shedding of investment.
Correct, and we're seeing that investment. Some of the same companies who don't have the rigs anymore, they're not putting that capital back into the state. So, that's going to be hard to top for the rest of this. 3 super projects essentially gone over the past few years.
We'll have to land 3 super projects a year now, so no pressure.
We've been trying.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure on the new AEDC guy.
Yeah. All right, Michael, of the top business stories, I'm going to let you pick your favorite.
Well, my favorite is kind of a confluence of 2, and again, it's going to be hard to top Wesley.
You only get 1. You don't get 2.
Well, no, I'm looking at home sales in Arkansas and the tourism industry. Both were surprisingly strong for a second consecutive year. Home sales were up almost 4% in 2014, that's a healthy number. And this is according to our home sales report. We measure home sales in the top 4 markets. This year, through the first 10 months of the year, it's up 9%. And the average prices are up 4.5%. And the total sales are up a little over 14%. So that's a healthy pace. And we'll get to this when we talk about next year. It'll be interesting to see how that moves forward.
Low interest rates are driving a lot of that, though.
Right, and now we know that's going to tick up, but is 25 basis points really going to drive the needle that much? So we'll see.
Right. On the tourism sector, you get your 2 for 1 here.
Well, on the tourism side, we're still seeing, I'll just take one example, the state's 2% tourism tax is up 5% for the year. And it's on pace to set a record for 3 consecutive years. So it shows that the tourism industry in Arkansas, I think, is fully recovered from the Great Recession and is back on its feet. And I don't see it really slowing. I have concerns about the home sales industry, but I don't see the tourism market slowing down that much in 2016.
What's your 2 cents on that?
Yeah, I agree. I think the thing we have to look at is on the home sales front, you have to. There has to be some steady momentum for several more months, and also with the interest rate hike, the Fed has signaled that it may produce a few more other hikes in 2016, so that may affect it going forward. So the home sales numbers is what I would really look at, not just in the near term, but over long term for over a couple of years.
Most economists tie home sales and the jobs market together. It's kind of they help each other. So if the Arkansas jobs market continues to hold steady, then that should bode well for realtors.
So I like the low I like the low unemployment rate. I like the jobs growth. I like the I don't like the low natural gas prices because I think it's crippling the economy here. I like the home sales. I like the sales tax improvement that we're seeing right there too. But I'm going to go with low pump prices. This has been both a financial and psychological boost for the Arkansas consumer and national consumers too.
Right.
Gas prices like $1.60 in my neighborhood, which is extremely low. And so, I mean, I can remember filling up our SUV back when we had kids and we had stuff that we were taking everywhere. I would cap it off at $99 because it just was not going to pay $100 for a full tank of gas, and I can't put $23 in my gas tank anymore.
Wow.
So,
Well, you can come fill up mine.
no,
if
I
you
will
need
not
me.
do that.
Okay.
But I am feeling that in my pocketbook, and it has given, I think, a lot of consumers some confidence to go out and spend more money on Christmas, to buy that extra meal at a restaurant, and those kind of discretionary spending things. And I just think psychologically, I think it's been good for the consumer to feel good about having a little change in their pocket right there.
Well, I'm sure the folks at Walmart hope it
I'm
translates.
sure they do.
But there have been some reports out saying that not all of that is going to spending. So
Yeah, right.
paying off debt.
And another thing is you have to look at the energy industry, the crude oil drilling. It affects those jobs in that sector. So when you see the jobs, the Exxon Mobils and the Chevron's shed jobs, Shell, that has a big effect because those are some of the largest employers in the country.
Yeah, I've said on my 2016 wish list, I'd settle for a little creeping up of those gas prices at the pump and in the natural gas sector if it would help stabilize the economy a little bit.
Definitely.
All right, let's go to some 2016 predictions.
Okay.
Who is brave enough to go first?
Well, I don't really have a prediction. The one thing that I'm watching though, two things really. I think the Clean Lines project is going to deliver a lot more headlines. This transmission line across Arkansas, it's going to, I think, going to
It
become
originates in Oklahoma. It's a wind power project.
700 miles, and and our Arkansas congressional delegation is really pushing back against it. So it's going to generate some headlines. And then I think for those of us who keep up with Walmart, it's going to be an interesting year. Those multi-billion-dollar investments that CEO Doug McMillon is making in people and e-commerce, we will start learning, especially in the back half of 2016, if those are going to pay off.
Yeah, that's a good prediction. Wes?
My prediction is that our economy will be more, it will continue to be more of a service sector leading economy. You're starting to see an uptick in healthcare jobs in retail, and we're starting to see in what we call blue collar jobs, the manufacturing and mining, oil and gas industry, those numbers are going down. So we're seeing a kind of a flip of our entire economy in terms of jobs and the type of jobs over the last decade, and that has a drastic effect on the middle class. And going forward, it'll be interesting to watch that trend to see if we're going to start getting looking at the wages, seeing if we see an uptick in wages and the kind of jobs that are coming to Arkansas.
Trucking's another one to watch real closely. I had a conversation with a trucker over the holidays talking about they can't find enough drivers, and that's been an age-old problem, but is really starting to, no pun intended, accelerate. So I'm going to go with my prediction for 2016. It's a negative one year, so I feel bad about this. But we talked about the low pump prices. We talked about the home sales being strong. We talked about unemployment on the decline, job growth happening. I just don't see any way all that momentum keeps going in that direction. I think that we're getting close to where it's going to have to bounce and start to move back up a little bit. So I don't think that we're going to keep unemployment as low as it is. I don't think those gas prices can stay as low. I think home sales are going to be a challenge because of those other two things that I mentioned. So my negative prediction to watch. I'm sorry. I'm trying to go out on a
There's some Fed chiefs that agree with you. They think we're on the back half of that business cycle.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. He is Wes Brown. He is Michael Tilley. As always, good to be with y'all to talk business. Thank you very much. Enjoyed 2015 very much and looking forward to 2016 with you.
Me too.
All right, you can catch their daily work at talkbusiness.net each and every day. You can catch more analysis on these top stories and some that we did not mention on our website too. After the break, we're going to turn our attention to politics. What were the top stories in the political arena in 2015? We're back to explore right after this.